Hello everyone and welcome to another video with me on Berets. Trying out this new microphone tonight. As you can see, here it is. It's a little more fancy than my previous microphones. That's pretty cool, right? Anyway, I'm hoping that this audio is going to be a little bit better. You guys can let me know what you think of it. The microphone has also been turned down a little bit. Hopefully that I'm not getting any feedback or anything. This is a new setup, so I'm just going to do this as a test video, put it out there, and see what you guys think. And but that's not what we're really here to talk about tonight. We are here to talk about Xmas Victoria. She is here on the JP side, and I have to say that I wasn't overly excited about her, and because it's not that I dislike Victoria. As a matter of fact, Victoria is still a character I really like. But I probably over the last year have kind of, enjoyed other characters more. And definitely in terms of my JP account, I am like almost 100% in on light at this point. It's not even close to how good my light units are to any other element in the game. Maybe dark, but yeah. So yeah, I just have specific elements that I like. And for the person out there in the comments, I'm calling you out specifically, just was commenting on the fact that I didn't mention Glassy talking about her. Well, first of all, here you go. Glassy could pair well with this character, maybe. But, I don't need to mention every single character. I know that you guys are smart enough to know that there are characters out there that pair well here. But one of the reasons I didn't mention Glassy is Titus and Ildira just come more to mind right now. Titus is a more recent water unit, and Ildira is just kind of my permanent farmer. Whereas Glassy has kind of, I just haven't used her a ton on the JP side because a lot of the content lately I don't feel like is skewed terribly well with her. That's not to say that I think she's bad or I dislike her. I just wasn't going to use her lately. So it didn't come to my mind. I guess it's a sin. And for people who say that I don't like the game, I don't like the JP side right now. Before, I guess, getting into it really quickly, because I'm going to talk about it more in the EX job video that I'm going to be making really soon. I don't like the state of the game on the JP side. It is really quite awful. I have seen, since the 1-year anniversary, a lot of players leaving the game, long-term players. And that's not an encouraging thing. As a matter of fact, I've seen some people who are with me since day one just kind of quit this game because it's too much of a time consumption and it's just not fun. And EX jobs have made the game even less fun and even more expensive. Whether you're free to play or not, it costs more resources now. So yeah, I'm not going to make excuses for the fact that I don't have to like this. I don't have to like the current state of the game, but I can still keep playing because there are things I like. And I do like some of the community, not all of the community. But hey, I'm just going to make this abundantly clear. If you don't like my opinions, go somewhere else. I really don't care about total viewers at all. All right, so with that being said, let's talk about Xmas Victoria now that I've gotten all the shade out of the way. So talking about Xmas Victoria, first of all, I have to say that this is a unit that I'm still kind of mixed on, but I can definitely see where this unit is going to be strong, and I'm going to be comparing her tonight to Niv. Niv is a Thunder Sniper and is a pretty comparable unit in some senses, but both of these units are going to have different specialties. So I'm going to talk about that. All right. So first of all, let's get the TMR out of the way. This TMR is an accessory. It has an ability on it that is kind of interesting because what it does is it's a one-use ability that gives like one other unit an extra jump in their movement for one turn. Now, I think it's 2 uses. Sorry, I'm reading it wrong. But anyway, basically it gives one other unit and her. I really don't know how I feel about this for a couple of things. One, I think that in terms of with AI, this thing's basically a total wash. The AI will never use it properly. But, you can disable them, so it's not that big of a deal. But overall, this TMR just feels kind of weak because anything that only gives you a one-turn effect has to be either really situational that you're going to use it, or it just has to be I would way like it this more if it was even 2 turns. 1 turn is just such a short buff for, potentially not dishing out damage or anything like that. So I have to say that I'm not a big fan of this ability at all. And so as for the TMR itself, taking a look at its stats: 10 defense, 12 aim, 309 HP. It's a good enough accessory for an archer or someone who is needing extra accuracy, but I'm really not overly interested in this TMR. I don't think it's that great. But what I do think is much better is this unit, so we're going to talk about her really for a little bit here. Let's take a look at the limit bursts, because these Christmas limit bursts are usually a lot of fun. They are very, Christmas flavor. A big criticism I have of the Christmas units for being limited time units, I'm super disappointed that they don't have a more unique primary job. We see like Brave Exvius characters and collaboration characters get unique jobs. I feel like limited time units, for how short a period of time you have to max them, should be a little bit more better designed in their kits. And I don't think that's unfair to say. Even if the just dress them up and kind of give them some special effects, that would be nice. That would be a really nice thing to give to this, to the Christmas units, all of them. I think that would be better value for the players too, because you're essentially getting these units because you like Christmas. Why aren't their effects more Christmassy? But that being said, the limit burst is still pretty nice. Now, it is a 2-hit attack that also can cause darkness on the enemies. Pretty good percent chance of that happening. So if you look at that for it kind of paints the picture already of what Xmas Victoria is supposed to be, and she is supposed to be a unit that counters physical units. More importantly is the fact that, unlike Niv, she seems to be, and I'm going to give a shout out to Ark, a member of my Discord, my guild's Discord on the JP side, and a real stand-up player, kind of pointed out that with Double Gunner and Paladin, basically Victoria ends up being a very kind of tanky defense penetration unit. So yeah, my guess on her being an anti-physical unit feels pretty accurate. Taking a look at her stats, she has more HP than Niv and more attack, but slightly lower agility, which isn't as big of a deal, because looking into her kit, Double Gunner does have a way of improving agility, well, quickness, whatever, but point is that she's a little bit faster than she actually ends up looking, and that's pretty good. It does mean that this unit, I think, is pretty competitive while having slightly better attack stats and HP stats, making a more tanky archer. However, I do believe that TP and AP is lower, and that is kind of a consideration, considering that bells, one of the things that, is always like, hey, you have a physical unit, you should put bells on them. If you were to put bells on this unit, the lower amount of, AP would give you less AP per turn, but since her master ability does give a reduction of AP costs, it's not as much of a big deal anyway. Alright, so going through her sniper kit really fast, basically kind of just carbon copy of Niv, with a way of increasing her own range and defense penetration. That's basically a self buff. She has slow shoot, which reduces quick for a couple of turns, 3 turns obviously. Arrow, a medium damage shot that removes 1 movement from a unit for 3 turns. Desperate Stand, which cancels all enhancements to units within range and deals large damage. Niv has the ability too. It's very strong. Barrier Breaker Arrow, which is exactly what it sounds like, on a single target. In the sub part, she has Arm Shoot. She has Target Share, which gives some extra attack power up, specifically with Phantom Beast Killer, so a little bit of Esper damage there. Paralyzed Trap, which, is exactly what you said. And Counter Smoke, when damaged by a physical attack, the probability of a preemptive hit rate target for 3 turns reduced. So in other words, she gets hit, and she lowers an enemy's accuracy. Not bad, not great, but not bad. She has the sniper ability of shooting power up and 15 luck as well, or 15 to shooting power and luck plus 12%. Getting into her double gunner, nothing really unbelievable here. She has stun shot, double shot, horizontal smoke screen, predictive shot, and she also has, of course, secret of shooting, which is shooting power up, and the one that I think is really the one that you're going to be running on this unit no matter what, which is tune up, which is quickness plus 12% and defense penetration plus 4. That's one of the best things about dual gunner units, and the fact that it's on this unit means that she can have a lot of defense penetration with her own sniper buff ability and the support ability. She can get through a lot of enemies' defense from a good range too. Cancel barriers, cancel enhancements, and reduce movement makes that she is a pretty effective long-range unit. As for her Paladin, part of her kit, Saint Heal, Divine Grace, Blade Rush, Attract Blade, Saint Wall, Sentinel, is no ability that gives her guts. Obviously, Saint Wall is a pretty good ability. I still prefer guts. I think it's called something else in global. Basically, it is, I just can't remember the term, but it is some kind of ability that will, if you take fatal damage, it will basically cancel out a bout of fatal damage, and the unit will be able to keep going. With Saint Heal, she does have some healing too, so she could get into an interesting war of attrition. She has good defensive options, and her defensive stat was not bad from the build I saw posted on Twitter. I think she had 24 defense, but I assume that some of that is, or quite a bit of that is probably from equipment off the top of my head. And she does have an HP up limit and defense up from her Paladin. So yeah, if there is something to be said about this unit, I do think that she is going to be particularly really good against tanks, which is good if you think about having the range that a unit could have, and the fact that she could just pierce through a tank's defense. I think that tanks could have a real nightmare facing against this unit. The only type of tank that would be, might be okay is one that either has a lot of shooting resistance or potentially would be a thunder element, and there doesn't really exist a thunder element tank at the time of this recording. But you could make a soft tank with Orlandu. Taking a look at her resistance, 5% for slash, 20% for pierce, blow resistance, or sorry, it's called blow on the JP side, but it's like fist resistance is negative 15%. Shooting resistance is 5%. And magic is minus 5%. And that's the thing. I think that Viktora will probably be countered by mages pretty easy. She doesn't really have a spirit stat or any kind of way of overly protecting against herself against magical attacks. And to that, there are some good thunder mages out there that could really wreck this unit. In terms of fist units, again, Christmas Venera versus Christmas Viktora here, probably just, I don't know, it would be maybe an interesting match because neither of them has an elemental advantage against the other, and I think that they're kind of weak to each other just a bit, so I don't know, I kind of want to see that fight now. Other than that, 50% sleep, 50% slow, and 10% attack. Overall, I think that Xmas Viktora turned out kind of better than I thought. It's really, though, like if you're wondering what the combination here that I think is particularly good, I think that it's the idea of having a tank buster on range. In terms of synergy with water units, obviously she has some double hit abilities, so you could do some chaining with units such as Titus and Glassy. There you go. So I do think this unit is particularly very strong against tanks. And to that being said, I do want to say that if this unit was to come to global, and Xmas Venera were to come to global at the same time, Xmas Venera is basically an anti-mage unit, where Xmas Viktora is an anti-defensive unit. Basically, units with high defense stats will probably get eaten up with her against her, except maybe for thunder units. But even then, I don't think it's a huge advantage. But yeah, I think that this unit is better, pretty good, but mainly because of her combination of jobs, which ended up being a little bit stronger than I feel. It's a little bit stronger than I anticipated, and that's good. Great for Viktora fans. We can also take a look at her 3D model real quick here. Pretty cute. And as for the bow that has currently been up, or that is the brand new bow on the JP side, the platinum bow, I'm just going to talk a little bit about it really quickly. I'll show it off too once I find where my inventory is. Change it over. Oh, look, there's a bow. Oh, wait, there we are. The platinum, in terms of the platinum bow, has 3 types: assault, critical, and vital. Assault is the high stat, obviously attack, 188, which is a really nice stat for a bow. Critical is 150 and 18 crit, which is not necessarily a bad bow, but I do think that the one that comes with Niv is a little bit better in terms of a critical. And the vitality one, going from a low on the assault of 43 HP to an incredible 72 hit points on vital. Vital is basically looking to be pretty trash and garbage. So I'm not thinking that that one's going to be very good at all. That's not where I want. I actually did want to go back in here. I think I do have. Yeah. Yeah, taking a look at the killer bow. The killer bow is 25 crit and only 132 attack. So the platinum bow's 188 is a pretty high amount. I would say that the only type that you should probably be building is probably assault. I do want to say that assault is better, although you could probably make an argument for the 150 attack, 18 critical bow on the platinum one as well. Anyway, so that's my opinion on her, on Viktora. Whether I'm going to pull for her or not, no, because something you need to understand right now is that one reason that I just don't feel any hype for these units is because it's been far too many limiteds in a row, starting with Final Fantasy X, what feels like a month ago. I think true, yeah. I'm just kind of over limiteds. I kind of want to get out of here. I definitely feel less inclined to go for limiteds now that EX jobs. But I'll talk more about that later. So anyway, thanks for watching. Hope the new microphone was pretty cool, and see you in the next video. Take care.